Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Sophie, and I make music. The last video that I posted, I talked about hearing loss and how I was taking a little bit of a break from music. I did do that for 2 weeks. That was like completely no music. It was tough, man, but we're back. We're back. We're so back right now. Thank you guys for all the support from the last video. And actually, thank you guys so much we're almost at 900 subscribers right now, and that is absolutely crazy. I am very thankful for all of the support. It's just been really nice knowing that you made a difference, that kind of thing. If you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing. It's free. You can unsub anytime. Anyways, let's get into it. By the time you're watching this video, a song that I worked on has already come out, that song being Oui by Aicha. I highly suggest you go ahead and listen to the song. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, all streaming platforms. Actually, the second track in her EP titled L. So, super solid EP. I love all the songs on there. Once you guys listen to it, please go ahead and let me know which one's your favorite. It better be Oui. I'm kidding. All the songs are great. Anyways, Aisha's ats are over here. All the links are in the description. A little bit of some background before we get into the actual breakdown. Me and Aicha actually met at 1500 Sound Academy back in 2022. I kept in touch with a lot of my friends there from 1500, even when I flew back to Manila, back to the Philippines. Yeah, and Aicha was one of those friends, and it's been really cool working on music together, even like remotely. One day, I just sent her, I think it was this year or last year, I'm not super sure. I sent her like a folder of some old beats and some new beats that I was working on to see if maybe she would like one of them or was inspired or anything like that. Maybe we could like work on something together, that kind of thing. And so I sent her that folder, and one of the beats that was there ended up becoming Oui, and she really loved it. And now we're here. I just wanted to give a little bit of some background behind that, because it's always nice to hear about just these little stories that happen outside of the studio, you know, the actual real life connections that go behind songs and how they're created. Let's just get into the breakdown. We're gonna listen to like the intro of the song and stuff, part by part with the vocals, and then we're gonna dissect it, you know, go through each track, the instrumentals. Take a look at the intro.
J'fais que gagner, bitch, appelle-moi ganadora. I say winning, all this green up in my aura. They like, who the fuck you think you is? I said me. We, bitch, we, bitch, we, bitch, we, bitch, yeah, 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 yeah.
Right, we're gonna stop there. So that is the intro / first hook, and this is the instrumental that goes behind that. You could say 8 tracks, honestly, like 8 tracks. And I just wanted to talk about that real quick. So this song, this beat I made quite a while ago, like early 2020, before I even like went to 1500 or anything like that. So early 2020. At that time, I believe that was when Phonk, the genre, started getting like really popular. Or at least that's when I knew of its existence from TikTok or something like that. After that, I just kind of started listening to other artists who were making the same genre, and I really like the vibe. Phonk is actually like inspired by, I believe, Memphis hip hop. You've probably heard it either on those like TikTok thirst traps, just TikTok in general. It was very popular. I think there's still a lot of edits that use this sound. So for those of you who don't know, this cowbell here is very, very funky. Like that is funk right there. If you hear that kind of cowbell sound, that is literally what funk is. This is literally just a cowbell. This is just a cowbell. So I just like came up with that little melody. I don't know if you guys noticed from the original or like from the finished track that there was a little bit of a bell thing going on. So listen to that again.
Green up in my aura. They like, who the fuck you think you is? I said me.
There, right before the hook. So I think like that was a really good touch, because it's just like a little bit of a reminder, a little signifier that there's something coming up next. My intention behind that was, yeah, like kind of like as a countdown, like a 3, 2, 1, and then boom. You'll will notice here that I have 2 tracks for the cowbell, because when I made this song, I didn't know what automation was, or I didn't know how to use it. I had a lot of like instances of that where I had so many like duplicates of the same track but just with different effects because I didn't know how to automate it. And if you have a lot of tracks like that, that's really gonna like eat up your CPU. So that's why automation is just, I love it, man. Let's talk about the bass real quick. There are actually 2 things going on here. The main hook, it basically stays the same for all the other instances that the hook is in. So let's take a look at the 808. So yeah, that's the 808. Something important to note is that pretty much all of the songs that, all of the tracks, all the sounds that I used here, they're all stock Logic sounds except for the drums, which I got from, as you can see here, it's from a cymatics pack. But basically everything else, the cowbell is stock Logic. I think it's taken from an 808 kit, and just everything else, all Logic, all Logic. That is the bass, you know, standard, just beefy 808 bass. But something that I wanted to add so that it sounded thicker and more powerful is the second kind of like sub bass that supports this one. So this is it by itself, right? Just 2 notes that are just like legato. But in conjunction with the 808, it just fills up that empty space that when the 808 is not playing, and it just adds to that beefiness of the sound. That's all I can say for the bass. Again, nothing super complicated going on with the drums. Listen to the group together. Same hi-hat pattern, it just repeats here, I believe. I mean, it's a little bit of an odd pattern. It's not very typical. There's a lot of like ba-dum-pum-pum, like the kick. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like completely crazy. It's just, there's just a lot of like kick hits. I don't know how I feel about that, but I do think that it served the purpose of the song very well. And in conjunction with the bass, it sounds something like this. That's it for the drums. It's basically the same for the other hooks. I guess another main difference here is, I believe it's the same pattern for the cowbell for the first. And then here it's just the same but with reverb. So that's something that I really like. That little roll, very common in funk where, you know, you have a lot of those crazy rolls going on. I like adding this here just as like a little accent because it just adds variety, and you don't want to hear the same thing all the time, right? Especially this here, this can get really annoying if you keep listening to it, right? That's why if it keeps repeating itself, that's why you need to spice it up. Just these little things, that's basically the hook. And now let's take a look at the verse section.
Money green like I got a sugar daddy, but it's only me, I'm the realest, got the cash be. Ask about me, what they do without me. Bitches got no ass fee, I do it, they copy. See, I've been the one in command, I gotta make some new plans. I know these bitches is fans, they know they nigga a stand. He know he wishing he can, I do my little dance. I'm chilling in France, can get in my pants for free. They nigga know I'm a masterpiece, charismatique, je suis très jolie.
Right, we're gonna stop there and we're gonna talk about that. Absolutely fire verse there. I love that transition from the hook into this verse. It's just, oh, it's so fire. I love what she did here. We're gonna go and break that down, like production wise. We have the same cowbell track here, but it's playing a different thing. It's a different pattern, so very simple. Again, just 2 notes. Well, 3. So that just repeats for the verse. Now, since it's the verse, you know, you gotta chill out with the drums, so kick, and instead of a snare, we have clap and a open hi-hat. So let's listen to the drums real quick. It's a lot more like stripped back, stripped down, and that's it. There's no bass here, it's just the cowbell and it's just the drums. In the second half of the verse, we have a very interesting thing that I just really love. So this is a loop from Cymatics. It's a little percussion loop, right? Now, I'm gonna play it without anything on it, and this is what it sounds like, okay? Right? That's what it sounds like. I EQ'd it. This is actually a crazy EQ. I don't know what I was doing here. This is very old. And then I added a bit crusher, all right? And then I added reverb as an insert, by the way, not like on a send, which is very interesting. And this is what it sounds like now. Like that sounds completely different from what you guys just heard. And I love it. It just adds this like texture that complements the cowbell so well because it's a little crunchier, it's a little grittier. It just goes well. This is what it sounds like, right? So again, we have the little signifier, the bells, you know, tell you that something is coming next. So the 3, 2, 1. Bum, 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 bum. Kind of reminds me of like the bomb in CSGO, in Counter-Strike. You know how it like before it explodes. Anyways. Again, we have two like signs that prep the listener that and give them a little heads up that something is coming next. Kind of like a pre-hook, but not really. But anyways, those two signifiers are the bells and this little sweep, this reverse effect here. Again, Cymatics. You should really sponsor me. I love Cymatics. Anyway, so now we get into the next part of the song, which we'll listen to right now.
Charismatique et je suis très jolie. Baby, yes, I'm oh so pretty. Je suis la plus jolie. C'est Aicha. And I got the baddest bitches singing ooh la la. Say ooh la la. Say we bitch.
So again, the
Say we bitch, we bitch, we bitch, we bitch, yeah, 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 baby.
So a little bit of an octave higher. Yeah, it's just an octave higher, but it adds a different thing. What I wanted to do here was what I like when I make songs is having like very distinct sections. That's what I really like. As you can see here, that's what I tried to do like with the hook here and then going into the verse, which sounds different, and then we're going somewhere else. The transitions go there. Let's listen to the drums real quick. Pre-hook the hook part. The hi-hats are a little bit more intense here, or there's some variation compared to the first instance of it, a little bit different. But basically the same kind of groove, it's just, again, for variation. So the difference between this hook and the previous one is, of course, the cowbell here, which I think was a very interesting choice to put the hook here. Once again, when I made the beat, I intended for this to be more of a pre-hook than an actual hook. Again, I think it's really interesting that she chose to write it here. Always nice to see different interpretations of the same song. And it turned out the way that it did, and I'm very happy with it. It's fire. Let's talk about the bass real quick here. We have more of a glidey. It's like a different variation of the long legato notes from earlier. So let's listen to that. There. So I'm gliding the notes by playing them at the same time. And then when you release this one here, it's just glides back down here. So that's what gets that kind of bouncy wobbly feel. Another thing that I added here, and just like the open hi-hats. second hook.
We, bitch, we.
Again, so second hook. That was the second hook. And the second half of this, a little bit subtle, but it is there. And it sounds like this. It's more of like a plucky thing. You'll hear it in the background. It sounds very similar to how you would kind of do it on guitar. I honestly think if I recorded that more of like with the actual guitar instead of using like a synth, it would have sounded like a lot more, I don't know, darker. It reminds me, like if I did that, it would remind me a lot of Megan Thee Stallion's Hiss. So how that kind of has like a rock vibe to it. Again, I don't have like any regrets about it. I just think it's a very interesting thing to think about. This is just here to support it. No 808. It's just this kind of sub bass that's carrying the low end or the bass part right now. Listen to that again.
Say we, bitch, we bitch, we bitch, we bitch, yeah, 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 yeah. Baby, yes, I'm oh so pretty. Je suis la plus jolie. C'est Aicha, and I got the baddest bitches singing ooh la la. Say ooh la la. Like we, bitch, we bitch, we. Yes, bitch, yes, yes, bitch, yeah, 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 yeah.
Alright, before we get into the last hook, I just want to talk about that real quick. I love how you could like literally hear in her voice that she's smiling while she's singing this, which I think is so fun to think about. So this little post hook, but the lyrics stay the same. I think a lot of the dynamics of this song comes from the different instrumentation that's going on. It's not even different instrumentation, but just taking things out and putting them back in when they need to be. Because the lyrics themselves don't change a whole lot, but the beat does quite a bunch, which I think is really interesting. Because usually it would be the opposite. For example, one that I produced before, Drunk Instead. Let's just use that as an example. That's basically an 8-bar loop all the way through, or 16-bar loop all the way through. There's pretty much like no difference, or I mean, yeah, it's basically just on a loop. And while that's happening, the instrumental kind of serves like as a side character to the main narrative. Debbie telling her story through the lyrics, etc., etc. But I feel like in this instance, the beat really carries. It's not that like I'm putting her down or anything like that. I just think it's really interesting that the beat is what carries the emotion here, the dynamics of the song. When I sent this beat to her and she liked it and then she recorded something, like a quick demo, she wanted to do some revisions on the arrangement and things like that. When I went back to it, you can see that I actually like used automation now because it's like 2 years later. So yeah, you can see here that I automated the low pass and just so it kind of like sweeps and builds up. Let's listen to that in action. There, you see how it builds up? That's just me automating the EQ to just roll off. I think that automating or just filtering it out is such a simple but effective way to transition into a heavier part of your song. So if you haven't tried that, please, it's very simple to do, but it does a lot. Here, the intended effect is to get you hyped up because it's like rising and you have like a moment of like a drop before the drop. Do you get what I'm saying here? So from that lower octave, we go into the higher one right before the actual hook. A good way to break that tension. So all of the drums are silenced and it's just that higher octave cowbell. Again, there's actually like no changes in the 808. It's the same throughout the entire song. For the drums, there might just be some slight variations, but basically the same thing. And I think this song here is a really good example of how I can use just very simple things. I think breaking the session down, you can see that a lot of music production is just taking things out and putting them back in and just adding variation. That's really it. That balance, or like just knowing where you should put things, is so important. And it's really simple when you think about it, right? Look over here, there's just, oh, there's nothing here, and then when the hook comes, everything's there. It's very easy to think about it that way. It's something takes a while to master. I'm not claiming I'm still like really learning about a lot. Just looking back at this project makes me appreciate it a lot more. It's like, hey, that's pretty cool. So that's a quick little breakdown of We by Aicha, produced by me. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and check out the song. It's part of her new EP, L, which has 3 other songs which are just as great, and I love all of them. Please go ahead and check it out. And links to everything in the description. Make sure you go ahead and follow Aicha. Her ads are going to be somewhere here as well. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these like mini breakdowns, or maybe not so mini at times, like session breakdowns or like beat breakdowns of songs that I've done in the past or songs that are coming out, etc. Hope that this helps in some way. I learned a little bit of some little sauce that comes when I think about producing or whatever. Very hype song, and I love it. That was a little breakdown of We by Aicha, produced by me. Anyways, that's it from me for now. I know a lot of you guys have been wanting some beat tutorials, so that's something that I'm definitely looking into. There's also some mix critiques that are coming up soon. Tutorials is something that I definitely want to, work on, and I'm very curious to see what exactly. Whatever it is, please leave a comment down below. I try to read and respond to everything. And it's always nice, having conversation. And that's something that I really want to strive for. Just community. Community is very important, especially in the music sphere. In general. That's gonna be it for now. Go ahead and follow me. That's SOPI_BATS on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. Go check it out. Send me a message. Consider following. I guess that's that. Let me know what you guys think about this video. If this was helpful, let me know. Leave a like. There seems to be something I'm missing.
You check.
Baby.